Hey curious kids, Kevin here. Today on A Place Called Space, we are going to be talking about aliens. Searching for aliens. So have we found aliens already? When will we find aliens if we haven't found aliens? And, well, will we ever find aliens? So spoiler alert, we haven't found aliens yet. No aliens. You know, sometimes your brother, your sister, or your cousin, or your crazy uncle might seem like they're from outer space. But they're not. We're all here on Earth. This is where we came from. So far, we haven't found any aliens. I wish I could tell you that, hey, we found aliens. They've got 8 fingers and 22 toes and like 3 eyes. It'd be kind of freaky, but no. I would tell everyone all about it. No, not yet. So let's talk about how we are searching for aliens. All right, I'm going to tell you 3 ways that we're searching for aliens, and there's a couple more, but we're just going to talk about 3 today. Ready to dive in? If you got questions about aliens, how we search for aliens, if we've ever found anything that we thought was an alien at first, put them in the comments. Let me know. Let's all talk about aliens today. So I'm going to switch over. We're going to have baby Kevin come in for a little bit. Where is he? He's hiding. There he is. What's up, baby Kevin? So baby Kevin needs to move a little bit. He's still set up from yesterday. You like this Kevin thing? I think it's kind of cool. Can get kind of weird and distracting for a second though. All right, back to this. This is what we're looking for because I like to write stuff over here. So I'm going to write on top. We're going to use that blue marker. And up top over here, we're going to do, we'll start over here. Searching. Well, I got to spell searching right. You got to call me out if I misspell. That's a G. Searching for, I'll move you in a second so you can see me better, aliens. See, when I shift over to baby Kevin, I gotta remember to shift this camera over so that we can talk to each other while I'm writing here. All right, so you're not just looking at the side of my head off to the screen. Weird. Now, the 3 ways we're gonna talk about today. Searching for aliens. So one way that we search for aliens, what do you think is the easiest way? Easiest one. I'm going to put it over here, right here. The easiest way that we can search for aliens, well, easiest is kind of, it depends on what you're talking about for easy. How about knowing that we actually found aliens? What's the easiest way to know that we found them is to go out there ourselves and find them, whether it's with robots or humans. So we'll set that up. So go out ourselves. So there's a word for this when we have to be in a location to find something. It's called in situ. So this is the word that we use, I-N-S-I-T-U. That's the word that we use when we're talking about actually being somewhere to study it, to like pick up the dirt ourselves. So how else would we do that? Well, you remember these things? Satellites? And satellites go orbiting around planets. They're around Earth, they're around Mars, and they can study from a distance. So we call that, I'll put my little satellite here, put a little arrow down. So we call this remote sensing. Remote sensing. You know the TV remote? You don't have to be right next to the TV to turn it. You can be way far away and just click the button. So that's what we can do with satellites. But the easiest way for us to know that we've actually found aliens is by going out and doing it ourselves with in situ. So we've done this previously. I change the color to red because we're talking about Mars. So we did this with the Mars Viking Landers. So early on, we sent rovers to Mars. Not rovers, Before we sent rovers, we sent landers. They landed, they didn't have wheels, so they didn't move around, and they were to look for aliens. So the Viking Landers, there was 2 of them, in parentheses and 2. They sent 2 of them to land in 2 different spots to look for aliens, but they didn't find any. So we're working on other missions. So something that I was working on, Europa. You remember Europa? So Europa lander. Sometime in the future, this will happen. It's just not scheduled on the calendar yet. You know, it could be in a couple years. It could be a lot further down. See if I can get this a little bit cleaner, because I feel like maybe it's a little blurry. I have an idea. Let's get some better light down here. See if that helps us out. Okay, just want to make sure you can see what I'm writing pretty clear. We can zoom it in just a little bit, because otherwise my searching for aliens is going to go away. Okay, so we can go there ourselves, whether it's humans or robots. For humans, the only place we've gone ourselves besides Earth is the moon. Haven't found any aliens on the moon. Would be pretty cool if we did, though. But we didn't. No aliens on the moon, no aliens on Mars. Europa is that best place in our solar system to look for aliens, so we are going to go there. So what's the second way? Well, yes. Well, first off, I'm going to back up just a little bit. So when we are going out and looking for these aliens, we're looking for life as we know it, right? So we'll do a quick recap on what life as we know it is. So I'm going to start over here. We'll put it up over here since it's kind of like on the side. So life as we know it. Because we've seen some crazy life in the movies, right? Some crazy aliens and cartoons and like sci-fi movies, right? So life as we know it needs 3 things. If you remember this from the Europa episode, there's 3 things that we need for life. So the first one is water. So we're looking for life as we know it. So we're searching for a place that has water, right? So Europa's got that water. Mars had water in the past. Maybe has some liquid water underneath the surface. We haven't found flowing water on the surface, but we believe maybe there might be some underneath it. There is frozen water on Mars. The second thing we need that chemistry, right? So we need the building blocks of life, chemistry. Did I spell that right? It looks kind of funky. Chemistry. We need the building blocks of life, the things we find in rocks. So if you haven't heard of this yet, I'm going to show you what this is. This is the periodic table of elements. So everything, everywhere that we have here on Earth is made up of these different things. I'm going to zoom in real quick. Zoom. So we can see these a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So if you can't see them that well, it says H up here with a 1 and then like Li. So this is hydrogen, lithium, Na is sodium, K is potassium. Right, so you've heard some of those words before. Over here we got carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluoride, neon, helium, argon, chlorine. So we've heard chloride. We've heard a lot of those words before, right? Well, they all come from here. Where is it? I'm going to find the good one that I know we've all heard before. Sometimes it takes me a little bit. So this one's lead. You know what I'm looking for? There it is. AU, number 79, is gold. We all like gold. Voyager Golden Record. So these are the elements that build up things. So the building blocks of life, that chemistry as we know it. We are carbon-based life forms. Boom. Right there, carbon. So we are looking, for carbon as well as a few other things because we're made up of more than one thing. So specifically we're looking for carbon. We're looking for hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. So carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. So that's CHNOP. And I say schnapps. So it's one word, schnapps. Sometimes the CH sound can make a sh sometimes. So Schnapps is how you can remember all of those elements that build stuff up. So, schnapps. So that's life as we know it, right? That's what we're made out of. Let's put that away. And what's the last thing we need? If you remember, we need energy. So we need a way to power life. We got the sun here at Europa. We think there's a bunch of friction and heat going on that squeezes it and allows there to be heat underneath the ocean on the seafloor. And that's why there's a liquid ocean and it's solid ice on the outside. So life as we know it, that's what we're looking for. So when we're going up, I'm going to zoom up just a little bit. So we get that searching for aliens back in there. That's the type of life we're looking for when we have to go out and look. Because we have to test for it. So we need the right instruments to test for those things. Now the second way that we search for life, we don't really need to know what it's made out of because we're not actually detecting life itself. So this one, have you heard of this word before? SETI, S-E-T-I, it stands for something, and it stands for search. Because that's what we're doing, we're search, and then little 4, extraterrestrial. Oh, let's see if I can spell this right. Extraterrestrial. That's a big word. If I get it wrong, let me know in the comments. Extraterrestrial intelligence. Intelligence. So the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If you've heard of E.T., the movie, E.T. stands for extraterrestrial. Maybe you didn't know that. Like E.T. Phone Home with Reese's Pieces. I know it's an old movie, but it's like a ride at, is it Disney? Or is it Universal? One of those places, MGM. You can go and you can ride the bike. It's a cool movie. Go check it out. It's old, but it's cool. E.T., extraterrestrial. So when we're searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, what does that mean? Well, we use these. You know what those are? Those are satellite dishes, right? So that is SETI. That is a location here in California where one of their headquarters is. And they have all these dishes that are waiting for signals to come in from space. So it's trying to detect. Oh, so we got those. Let me move that away. So it's trying to detect alien signals. And why do we think that's a good idea? Why do we think that we'll be able to detect alien signals? Well, we send out signals all the time into outer space. We send out, oh, got a question, and I'll do that in a second. We send out signals all the time into outer space, whether it's communicating with our spacecraft. So maybe we have to send a command, right? And the spacecraft isn't the only thing that hears it. It's kind of like me right now. I'm talking, let's say, or your teacher is talking. They might be talking to one student, but you can all hear what the teacher's saying, right? So if I'm talking to Miss Malley right now, yes, she can hear me, but everybody else who's watching can hear me too. So when we're talking to a spacecraft, they can hear it, but the signal can be picked up by other things, other aliens maybe, that are out there. So that's possible. Like we are sending signals out, so maybe an advanced alien civilization is also sending signals out to their spacecrafts, telling them what to do. Now the other reason we think this is a good idea, because Earth. It's over here. Earth, the way we live our life, we are sending signals back and forth from each other right now. I am sending you a signal so you can watch this video, and it might be getting bounced up on some satellites and then shot around the world. And you're sending signals back to me. You're liking it. You're letting me know you're watching. You're sending in comments, right? So Earth is just like buzzing with like radio signals or microwave signals, all of these signals that are coming off from Earth. So if there's an alien planet out there that's like us and have a civilization, they also are going to be sending out signals into space, and we're trying to capture those. So that's what we're looking for, is alien signals, whether it's coming from like a spacecraft that's out there, maybe sending stuff to a spacecraft, or just trying to detect it coming from the planet itself. Now I see a couple questions here, and not about aliens, but a question that you have Is it true the force of gravity and the magnetic fields are decreasing? That is a good question. So I don't know the exact answer to that. We're going to look it up in just a second. But I can tell you that, so gravity changes. Gravity changes around Earth a little bit. Sometimes it gets a little bit more, sometimes it gets a little bit less. Gravity, very, very little. It's not like all of a sudden you can start floating. It's really, really little, and you only need to know that if you're doing super crazy calculations, like when we're sending stuff into space, or maybe you want to learn better about how Earth is changing. But I haven't heard the magnetic field thing. Let's look that up. So, magnetic field decreasing. Decreasing. So what I'm doing is I'm going to Google and I'm looking for a reputable source. That could be NASA, that could be another nonprofit. Like physics.org is coming up here, space.com, Scientific American. So I'm going to click on one of these and see, is it true the strength for Earth's magnetic field is decreasing, and what's the effect? So it's constantly changing, and the way which it changes also changes, is what they're saying. So let's look at this really quick, see if I can give you a quick answer. And so yeah, we're constantly monitoring it. I've known that just to see what's going on, but we aren't seeing anything that are going to, here it is. Yeah, nothing that's crazy that's going to change it around. So we aren't going to feel any effects. But some of the animals that we have use the magnetic field to help navigate. Like, where is it? Like birds, whales, and butterflies. So with little changes in it, they can turn, their navigation is going to change just a little bit. Maybe we'll do an episode on that next week to dive into it more. And a question from Glenn is, couldn't ET life be made from elements that are completely unknown to humans? Shh, that's what we're going to talk about next. So yes, that's possible. And hey, Dustin Haskins, thanks for coming in. So we got to talk about one more way, right, that we're searching for life as we know it. Life as we know it. As Glenn just said, what about life as we don't know it? That is what I'm going to cover at the end, because yes, it's true. There can be life as we don't know it. All right, so the third one. Number 3, ways that we can search for aliens. And one of them is that we're going to search ourselves with telescopes. So I'm just going to say telescopes. We're going to do that. I'm just going to write down telescopes. Telescopes. Okay, so one is that we can actually look for alien objects. Alien objects. So we found, well, when I say alien objects, so sometimes alien just means not of Earth or not of this solar system. Well, it's kind of hard to see objects. Let me cover it up just like that a little bit so you can see alien objects. So what we did a couple years ago is we actually had something from outside of our solar system come inside, and we're like, oh, this is like an alien object. And I don't even remember. I don't know how to spell it. It's a really hard word to say. Alien object in solar system. I forgot how to say it. So this is how you spell it. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to need a different color here. I'm going to put it up here just above it. So O-U-M-U-A-M-U-A. Oumuamua. Oumuamua. Something like that, right? So, oh, I got to block it. Got a little reflection here. That's the word. So we named that as a rock or something that came from outside of our solar system inside. And we're like, oh, this isn't supposed to be here, but we found it with some telescopes, and then we can investigate it. So we can look for alien objects. That could have been a spaceship until we learned, kind of like what it was. It wasn't emitting any signals. So no, but we found an object. So we look for alien objects. The other thing that we look for, we look for alien, so worlds. Alien worlds. So what we're looking for is places like Earth. Remember exoplanets. So we talked about exoplanets in a previous episode. And exoplanets are planets that are outside of our solar system. You know, they're around a different star. maybe they could be Earth-like. Are they in the right area where they're not too hot and not too cold, not too close to the sun, but not too far away from the sun, that they can have liquid water on the surface? And so there's two ways I want to tell you real quick about how we can look for exoplanets, just as a recap. So one way that we can look for exoplanets. So here is a different star. Here's a planet. So you remember when I did this and we talked about eclipses, where the moon can move in front of the sun and it eclipses the sun? So when we're looking for exoplanets, we stare at a star out in space, and if we see a little drop in the brightness, I'm gonna bring it really close, so you can see the star, but there's a little drop in the brightness. It's like something's blocking a little bit of the light. That's how we can find an exoplanet. The other way is that when a planet is so big, like Jupiter, it has a lot of gravity, so it pulls on the star a little bit. So Jupiter pulls on our sun, and it actually causes it to wobble. So Jupiter and the sun are both orbiting a point off of the surface of the sun because they're so big. So if you look at the sun from the side, outside of our solar system, it's going like this. It's moving back and forth. So we look for stars that are moving back and forth a little bit, and that tells us that there's a planet around them. So that's another way that we can look for exoplanets. So let's bring back baby Kevin. There we go. So those are the 3 ways that we're hunting for exoplanets, or not 3 ways that we're hunting for exoplanets. 3 ways that we're looking for alien life is we can go out and look for it ourselves, right? We can search for those alien signals coming in, or we can have telescopes that are looking for alien objects or alien worlds. Now that is life as we know it, right? Yes, life as we know it. But as Glenn said, what about life as we don't know it? So here is that periodic table. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see it a little bit better. Make it a little bigger. This way I can talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so periodic table. This is what it looks like. Life as we know it. So remember, way up in the corner was carbon, right? That's the life that we're made of. But what is right underneath carbon? Do you see that? So I'm going to bring it back over here. Where'd it go? So we're going to put this back up. We're going to zoom in. So we got our carbons and stuff over here. So directly beneath carbon is silicon. That's this Si. So silicon, germanium, tin, lead. We're probably not going to find any lead, so this color means that these are metals. So probably not. It's possible, right? But why does silicon make any sense? Well, we're carbon-based life forms, right? So that's what we pretty much are. Silicon-based life forms, that could be something that we find. So the way that everything in this table is ordered is things in columns have similar properties, right? Similar properties. So carbon and silicon, they have similar properties. So it's not too crazy to think that there could be a silicon alien out there, right? And we wouldn't be able to detect that if we're looking for carbon. So carbon is smaller than silicon. It weighs less. So when we're trying to measure something, we're not looking for something that heavy or that big. So we might not find that. So we're looking for life as we know it. So if you look in the movies, a lot of the times that's what you see is silicon, more like plasticky kind of stuff, based life forms, right? They're not carbon, they don't have skin, but they kind of look like stretchy plastic maybe, right? Yeah, that's what is possible for weird life. That's what we're going to call that weird life. Let me zoom out. Woo. Zoom that out. So we need the special color. Green. So green can be, we'll put it down here, not too far away. Yep. Weird. Weird life. So I put 2 question marks there, right? Because If it's not life as we know it, we can only guess and think what that life could be like. So the easiest way for us to find that weird life is, one way is going out and finding it ourselves with cameras. So we can take pictures or videos of things moving around and be like, oh, okay, it's life, but it's not made out of carbon. It needs something else. Maybe it doesn't have eyes. Maybe it doesn't breathe oxygen. Maybe it breathes something else. Maybe it feeds off of radiation. Maybe it breathes the methane, which is something that we can't breathe. We don't know. So that's what we're looking for, right? Because you've heard of the words maybe physics, chemistry, and geology. So physics, how things move around. Chemistry, the building stuff, so this periodic table we just looked at. Then geology is like rock formations and the changing of land. We have found that works everywhere. So we found about it here on Earth, but then it works on Mars, it works on Venus, it works outside of our solar system, it works all throughout the galaxy. But biology, that's why biology is life. It's all of this stuff that we've talked about. We haven't found that off of the surface of Earth yet. So we don't know if it works throughout the universe, so it could be different biology. So deep, deep inside of us, there are things that look like this. You ever seen something like this? Hold on, I'm not done yet. So there are things that kind of look like this. Have you ever seen like this graphic or this image or things that kind of look like this? Have you ever seen one of those before? So that is a strand of something that we call DNA. DNA. It's what's inside of us. Oh, it froze. Oh, the camera ran out of battery. I am sorry. So we're not going to be able to see that. Well, what you can see is that little strand. All I wrote was the letters D and A above it. So that little strand there is what's inside of us that makes us up of who we are. Maybe those aliens aren't made up of that kind of stuff. It's possible. We just don't know. That's why we're looking for aliens. So before I push this away, because if I move it away, I don't think it's going to come back, let's do a quick recap. Right? So we're searching for aliens. We're searching for life as we know it, which is water, chemistry, building blocks of life, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, schnapps, and energy. So we can find that in three ways that we're talking about today, is going out ourselves and looking at it in situ, like with our rovers, the landers, Mars Viking and Europa Lander, or with humans, like on the moon. Maybe we go to Mars, maybe go to different planets. It's easier to send those robots first. Or we can do remote sensing, which is with our spacecrafts. So 2, SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, detecting alien signals from outer space. And then the third one is telescopes. So we can use our telescopes with looking, hey, I got it. So if you've ever had wrapping paper, right, and you're done with the wrapping paper, this one's got caps on the end, but you can use that and build your own telescope, and then you can play through it. So telescopes, we're looking for worlds, or we're looking for alien objects, right, that could enter into our solar system and be like, oh, what's that? Like the Oumuamua. See if I get it right. Try and say that word after this video. Just say it like 5 times in a row and see if you can have some fun saying it. Or we're looking for alien worlds that are like Earth, right? That are like Earth because maybe aliens could live there. And one thing I'll add about that is that if we find oxygen, we can use our telescopes to find oxygen in the atmosphere. We're like, oh, that's cool, because oxygen can only be in an atmosphere if there's life as we know it that's emitting it. Like plants, they breathe in carbon dioxide, and they exhale oxygen. There could be plants there. So lastly, life as we don't know it, weird life. Maybe it's not carbon-based. Maybe it doesn't have DNA. Maybe it's a silicon-based plastic alien with no eyes, 8 fingers, 22 toes, 3 eyes, no eyes, 2 mouths, maybe 8 arms. We don't know. Weird life might not be based off of life as we know it. So that's how we're searching for aliens. We haven't found them yet. We're still trying. We're working our best to do it. And the sooner that we can get more money into the space program with NASA and having other companies work together, the sooner we can go out and explore these places ourselves with robots like the Europa Lander to find those aliens. Lots of awesome stuff. I got a little itchy nose there. You know, sometimes you get itchy nose, right? Yeah, it happens. Those are the really cool ways that we are searching for aliens. Maybe one day you can grow up and help me search for aliens as well. If you go to the SETI website, I'll put the link below. It's not there yet, but you can do some searching for aliens at home, right? That sounds like a really cool thing to do. So I'll put that in the description right after this video ends. Give it a couple minutes before I can find that link and put it in there. Learn all about aliens. And on Tuesday, so we got the weekend coming up, so you can take a break from space and just enjoy the weekend, have some time with your family, and play some board games, watch some TV. On Tuesday, we have a special guest, the host of America Ninja Warrior. Yes, because if you didn't know, I am an American Ninja Warrior. We've got the host, Matt Eisman, is going to be joining us and asking a space question, which we're going to learn all about on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, Kevin at 11 in Central, and Kevin at noon in the Eastern time. So we will see you then, and remember, never stop learning.